do you want to tap on like the resistance to kind of entering this stage in life?
Yeah, let's or we could do like just yeah, just getting older. Like that way guys can do this too because I know that there are guys out there that experience similar things to us. Like they'll have the chest pain, they'll have the anxiety and they'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm having a heart attack." And I think it is a thing that as we get older it happens as the hormones are shifting. Guys, girls, doesn't matter. Whole thing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. All right. So I always like to start a tapping round with kind of thinking about the focuses. So we're focusing on kind of resistance to this next stage of life, whatever it is that we're moving into, and finding some acceptance around that. So if you're thinking about, um, let's see, let's gather. Do you have some things that you're resistant to about this part of life?
Yeah,
Always good to
yeah.
gather some things. And whoever's listening, think about it for yourself. And like Jannine's going to share some things, and then you maybe you want to write your own down if you're doing this along, so that you can kind of personalize what we're going to tap on for yourself. But what would you say, either personally for you or that you hear a lot?
Yeah, resistance for me is my mind and my concentration and focus. That's a big one for me, being able to keep my creative mind, but also to be able to remember stuff on patience, because
Mm,
that's embarrassing when I goof up stuff there.
yeah.
That one's huge. The other one for not so much for me, but I feel it sometimes happening. I don't have intense hot flashes, but I will have flushes where my cheeks will get red out of nowhere. And it's been happening. Actually, I got it going right now. Look at my cheeks. Um, and then sometimes they'll get bigger, like it'll get bigger. But I don't have the whole hot. So that, and it's usually when I'm like excited and doing things. So there's that. And I don't know what the resistance is there because I like doing what I'm doing right now, but who knows? And then the last one I think that's really probably most important for me is the resistance to getting older in general, the concept of like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Just that whole like thing. And I
Kind of
want to
like
be
the
strong.
unknown.
Yeah, the unknown. Yeah.
All right.
And all so folks who are listening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat what Teresa says, but I'm going to put myself on mute so that you guys just hear her, so that you're not hearing two voices coming back at you. So it's more.
Okay. You sure you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll say the things, but I think when it's me muted, sometimes I don't know. I feel like the experience might be better for folks aren't
Okay.
hearing
Well,
me
then
as
I
much.
will I will watch your lips to make sure I'm not going too fast. I feel like when I when I do things on my own, some people I get the comments on like my YouTube videos like, great content, but could you slow down? I'm like, there's a settings button and you can put me on like half speed if you want, but slowing me down is not the easiest. So especially once I get the ideas going. It's always so I'll watch you because when I have somebody mirroring it back, then I know what the speed is. All right. So what we're gonna do, it's like follow the leader. I'm gonna tap, and I'm assuming, is this only gonna be audio or are you gonna share video?
Nope, we're doing video too.
Perfect,
Yeah.
because you're gonna need to see what I'm doing. So just, I don't even need to explain where I'm gonna go because you'll just be watching. Although when I get lower, I'm tapping under the arm when I tap down here in case you can't see me. Everything else, I'll make sure it's on camera so that you can see what my hands are doing. The common question I always get asked is, does it matter which hand? No. And in fact, there's some points like our eyebrows and the side of our eye, under our eye, where you can easily do two hands and you can do both sides if you want, or you can do either or. So you can't mess it up is honestly like really what it comes down to it. you know, you can't mess it up. So just follow me and think about what it is that you are personally resisting about aging or hormone changes, perimenopause, menopause, just getting older. And feel free to personalize some of the things that I'm going to say as we do this to fit you better if what I'm saying doesn't align. That's the best advice I can give you because when we have energetic blockages, of which resistance is one, it favors specificity. What we're doing when we tap these different points and talk about it is we're unblocking the energy when what we're saying matches the block that's at that point. So if what we say doesn't align, the block stays.
Hmm.
So just make sure that what you're saying is in alignment. That's all. And you can do the same because you'll be muted, so you can say whatever you want.
I'll leave it open. I said I was gonna mute it. I'll leave it open, then you guys can hear what I'm saying, and I because I will riff on Teresa sometimes and say what I want to say. So I
That's
think that
perfect.
actually is a good idea because
I think
remember
that,
from before
yeah.
I would just say some throw
I
in
always
things.
encourage my clients to change things. I am, while I've been told that I'm a channel and I'm very intuitive about what I can sense from people, I get it wrong. So, there's nothing that means I can get it 100% right. So, I count
Right.
on my clients to kind of guide that and make it right for them. All right. So now we just need to rate the intensity of that resistance. Zero
Ooh,
being none and 10 being the most resistance that you could possibly have. Um,
I'm going with the 7 today. I'm going with the
okay.
7. Let's go with that.
I'll be resistant to that.
Mm.
All right. Even though I have a lot of resistance to aging,
Even though I have a lot of resistance to aging,
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though I can't find a whole lot to love about going through perimenopause and menopause.
Even though there are not a lot of things to love about the side effects of perimenopause and menopause.
I'm open to the idea that I can find something to embrace about this part of my life.
I'm open to the idea that I can find something to embrace about this part of my life.
And even though I have a lot of resistance to growing older,
Even though I have a lot of resistance to growing older, it kind of freaks me out.
it's just so much uncertainty.
There's so much uncertainty. Am I going to
What
become my
on earth
mom?
happens next?
What happens next?
Can I get a preview?
Can I get a preview? Yes, please.
I honor these feelings and accept myself anyway.
I honor these feelings and accept myself anyway.
Now we're going to start going through the main tapping points. All this resistance to aging.
All this resistance to aging.
Part of me just wants to stay young.
Part of me wants to stay young forever.
And it bums me out that I can't.
And it bums me out that I can't.
I see lots of examples of what poor aging looks like.
I see lots of examples of what poor aging looks like.
And I do not want that to be me.
That is not going to be my jam. I don't want that.
And for some of you, maybe even I see lots of examples in my own family of what I don't want to become.
Absolutely. I do not want to become my mother. Loved her, but I don't want to become what happened for her.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And I'm afraid that I am predetermined to have that happen to me also.
I'm afraid my genetics are wired for me to have that happen.
All this resistance to this part of my life in this body.
All this resistance to this part of my life in this body.
Just feeling like there's more that I wanted to do when I was younger.
Just feeling like there's a lot of shit I didn't do when I was younger.
Maybe having some regrets.
Lots of regrets.
All this resistance to hot flashes and chin hairs.
All this resistance to hot flashes and yes, chin hairs. Oh,
Acne and gray hairs.
acne, gray hairs,
Changes in libido.
changes in libido, belly
Changes in
fat,
energy.
changes in energy,
Changes in the strength of my bones.
changes in bone strength,
Changes in my sleep at night.
changes in my sleep at night.
I don't like any of it.
I don't like any of it.
Can I get a refund?
I get a refund.
Can I get a do-over?
Do-overs. Yes. Yes, please.
So resistant.
So resistant.
Sometimes you might even feel the urge to yawn or take a deep breath. Just honor that. That is energy moving. Open to the idea that maybe this is just where I'm supposed to be right now.
Open to the idea that this is where I am supposed to be right now.
I am certainly not the first woman to ever age.
Not the first woman to do this. No, no, true.
And I can also see examples of so many people who have aged amazingly well.
There are lots of examples of women who have aged really well. Yes. Yes, there are.
And even though I may have some beliefs about my own genetics,
Even though I might have some beliefs about my own genetics.
the study of epigenetics is showing me so many ways that I can change the way my genes express.
The study of epigenetics is changing the way I see how I can express my genes. Yes, that is true.
I may have a little bit more control than I realize.
I may have more control than I realize.
And aging is certainly better than the alternative.
I like getting older better than being dead. So, yes, that's a good idea. That's good. I like that. I like that. Oh, yeah.
So I'm open to the idea of doing it as well as I can.
I'm open to the idea of doing as well as I can. Good challenge. Yeah.
There's things I can do to make it better.
There's things I can do to make it better. Yeah.
Changing my mindset,
Changing my mindset,
reprogramming some of my subconscious beliefs,
reprogramming my subconscious beliefs.
getting some good exercise,
Oh, yeah. Getting the good exercise. Yes.
staying hydrated,
Staying hydrated.
researching and acting on ways to make holistic changes.
Researching and acting on ways to make holistic changes.
I could be a beacon for others who are aging also.
Be a beacon for others who are aging also.
I could be a
Mhm.
great example of how this can go really well.
Could be a great example of how this could go well.
And I look forward to living a long, healthy life.
I look forward to living a long, healthy life.
So I want to make it as enjoyable as possible.
I'm going to make it as enjoyable as possible.
Because the only way to move is forward.
I'm moving forward. That is the only way to go.
And things are going to keep changing whether I change with them or not.
Things are going to change whether, I change with it or not. I got some FOMO. I'm moving forward.
So I'm open to the idea of changing,
I'm open to the idea of changing.
becoming that 10.0 version of myself.
10.0. Yes. Yes. Okay.
All right, take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Stretch, shake, whatever feels good.
Mhm.
Then I always like to ask, like, what were you thinking while we were doing that? What was coming up for you?
I was like a cheerleader in my head there going like, yeah, I got this. I got this.
Yeah.
We can have some fun with this.
And how does that resistant energy feel now? Where is it at on that scale of 0 to 10?
We've moved it down quite a bit. I'd say I'm probably like at a 2 or 2.5. Let's go with the 2.5.
It's a big move.
Yeah.
I mean, we just, it was a few minutes. So, this is always like where, and this because we've done lots of work together, we kind of determine, well, what's left? Like, what makes up that 2.5? What do we still need to work on? And, one of the things that we haven't really talked about that feeds into all the things that we have talked about is our past. So a lot of times what we just did is a great like band-aid for the present moment things that are happening. But there's likely something below that resistance that stems from programming that you received from your mom or dad when you were younger, or, everything that you went through when your mom passed, or whatever else, and for everybody that's listening and tapping along, you have your own things that contributed to the feelings or the resistance that you have. And that is where we really need to kind of revisit those things. I love doing inner child work with EFT or hypnosis or regressive hypnosis so that you could actually like go into a whole hypnosis session looking for why you're resistant to aging. and letting the subconscious instead of the conscious brain bring to the table those reasons. Because consciously we can say, we're resistant because of those symptoms or because of what happened to a loved one or because of what we've seen. But subconsciously, you're going to bring totally different ideas to the table that are going to connect the dots for you in a whole other way. And then you can rewire that. So there's all these different ways to kind of move from whatever version you are now up to that 10.0 version and always be striving for that next level while
Absolutely.
appreciating where you are with gratitude. I always say you can't always just be looking for what's next. You have to be really grounded and appreciative and grateful for where you are while also reaching for that next thing.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge because right now I would say my biggest resistance, and you hit on it, was the regret, like things I hadn't done by now, right? Things that I missed out on, because of mindset stuff,
Sure.
but being grateful that like I see it now. I see it and I can work with it now. And who cares that now I'm in my 40s and I'm going to do some of those things that I should have done in my 20s. And I said, should have. I should have done myself.
We show on ourselves from time to time, but we can just clean it up and move on.
Moving forward. That was awesome. And so those of you guys who are listening, you could hear me kind of ad-libbing a little bit. I decided to ad-lib in at the last because actually I do think it's important to put in your own personal thing. Plus, for me, I'm a person who likes to laugh. And for me, laughing moves me. It's an energetic shift for me. And so making a little light of the situation and kind of just feeling things that way can help. And sometimes, like we've talked about, I've angry EFT tapped before, and I'm like, I'm so angry, and any way that you guys can tailor it to yourself. And I'm sure Teresa has seen many different versions of people doing things.
Absolutely. And I love it. I mean, I learned so much from my clients in the way that they interpret this and use it when they're willing to step into that space and embody whoever they need to be in that moment to move the energy and be able to guide that. And yeah, I mean, angry energy especially is important to move. And I think as women, we've been taught to kind of push that down, suppress it. It becomes all sorts of things, not just suppressed anger. It becomes, health issues and a lot of stuff. And that usually definitely stems from things that happened earlier in our life or ways that we were taught to express or not express our feelings. And that can be huge when we're talking about our health and the way, that things are showing up there.
Wholeheartedly. I almost like, and this is my personal opinion, guys, and it's just from the experience of what I experienced with my mom and my aunts, and a lot of anger within our family for different things that happened over the years. And my mom and aunt both died of my mom had breast cancer and then died of multiple mets within her body, metastases. But my aunt had breast cancer when she was in her 30s, then had it back into her colon. And it's very fascinating to me how cancer kind of, yes, there's a genetic, but I think when you look at personalities, holding anger, holding resentment, holding these things, and this is why I'm so into like, let's get this out of here, out of it, gone. Because I see so many patients in my practice who are like, oh my God, my mom had cancer, my aunt had cancer, just like my story. And they're like, I'm terrified. I feel like I'm going to get it. And it's like, it almost just happens, and I watch it and I'm like, oh my God, you got to get your energy. So if nothing else,
Yeah, for sure.
you clear some things. So Teresa, of course, we went down a whole bunch of pathways and in for the sake of folks understanding how they can work with you, what kind of things they could do, especially in this transition in life, getting older and really being able to move through all of the blockages that we have. What would be the best way for folks to get started with you? Would it be read your book? Because we didn't even go there today.
We did a whole other episode on that though. So check out whatever episode that was.
True. I'll link that for you guys in the podcast notes to drjkrauseND.com. But tell us how folks can start working with you. What would be the best way to just, if someone's listening to this and they're like, this is interesting. I think I could try this. I want to see if it's for me. what's the best way for them to connect with you? Look at your private sessions. What do you think? What do you
Oh,
think?
there's so many ways. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
have a whole free community on a platform called School where I do free coaching every week. I have over $10,000 worth of resources. I'll make sure you have the link for that. And my private sessions resource is in there, but you can also get that by going to theprivatesessions.com.
Oh, no.
And Jannine and I have done two different sessions in there. And then you have this one that we did today, and there's nearly 70 sessions in that right now. So it's a very high value resource if you want to do tapping. And then, yeah, my book, Becoming More Me, Tapping into Success, Subconscious Secrets of an ADHD Entrepreneurial Mom, is available on Amazon. That has a lot of exercises and things that you can get hands-on in it. And it's also a lot of my story and my client stories and things in there too. Um, and then from there, I have the Becoming More Me signature programs. So I have group coaching, I have one-on-one coaching, and things that are really designed to give you expert advice that gets results, especially for people who feel really stuck in different places. So I'm always happy to hop on a quick call. And, if you mention Jannine's name when you hop on there, you'll get extra bonus coaching too. So that can be really helpful also. But yeah, I mean, from the free community on up to, one-on-one coaching, there's all sorts of ways that I can kind of jump in and help you. And I'm always happy to, answer questions if you have them. Email me, Teresa at Teresa Lear Levine, and let me know what I can do to help you. I'll always try to find the right solution that's going to align with what you're looking to do or achieve.
Good stuff, good stuff. And I mean, I know that, and for my personal, you know, wealth, health, all of the things, you've helped me quite a bit in terms of moving through quite a few blockages. And like you guys have seen here, it's not a you get it all fixed. You're an evolving person. We have things that come up, and so being able to have the skills to work on what's coming up on the fly can be incredible for your overall health. And then working with Teresa to really kind of move you to the next level of what you're going for in life is a game changer. It's worked for me. I have no doubt that it's going to help you as well. So Teresa, thanks again for chatting with me again today. I always love chatting with you, and look forward to more times.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your support and having me back on the show again.
Anytime, you know that we'll have more good times in the future here. All right, that's it for today.